Brace yourselves, Eagles fans. Brace yourselves, Jalen Hurts fans. We have Mr. Spears here talking about the Philadelphia Eagles, A.J. Brown being gone, having some comments about Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles in the 2026 season. And this may be different than anything we have heard from sports media in quite a long time. Now, talking to Mina here, and one of the reasons I want to play this is because I want to lean into something that Mina said that I guess she was tweeting out something positive for the New England Patriots about A.J. Brown now having Drake May. And yet, what she actually did, as you will see in a moment, is give us proof of how damn good Jalen Hurts is. But let's take a quick listen to Mr. Spears. This is about a minute long.
How should they feel about that offense now heading into the season without Brown?
Well, regardless of if AJ was there, Boogie, this offense was gonna have to come along, and they were gonna have to do things differently. And Jalen Hurts was going to have to step outside of his comfort zone and do some things at quarterback play wise that he's just not. He doesn't do a lot. And that's throw with anticipation, middle of the field, try to attack people in areas that were available to them. The Philadelphia Eagles will be fine. I don't want to get on television today because A.J. Brown is gone and act like Howie Roseman is not still the general manager in Philadelphia. I've applauded and talked about how well Howie has done his job, and I think this team will be fine. What it does, and I know we'll talk about it ad nauseum as we get closer and closer to the season, it puts an onus on Jalen Hurts. It puts an onus on him not only to play at a high level, but for this team to win as well and figure out who that new go-to weapon will be. Now, I assume it will be Devontae Smith. I think he has all of the requisite tools to be that guy at wide receiver. You see what they did in the draft with Mekhi Lemon out of USC. I like Stowers a lot out of Vanderbilt, the tight end. He may turn out to be a weapon for them, and we see what they've done. But don't get it twisted. A.J. Brown being a New England Patriot is going to put an onus on Jalen Hurts like he's never had before. And I think Jalen is going to respond based on what I know about him.
Now, some interesting things here. First of all, I would say this is a very reasonable take. By the way, just so because I do have it here in front of me because of the video I did yesterday, I didn't think to have it, but with that Colin Cowherd and talking about how AJ Brown, according to Colin Cowherd, basically never got the football the entirety of his run in Philadelphia. Now he was here for 4 seasons, 5,034 receiving yards, 339 receptions, and 32 touchdowns. He got the ball a lot. He had a lot of production in Philadelphia. So once again, this is just absurd stuff
And figure
from
out who that new
whoops, sorry.
go-to weapon will be.
Absurd stuff from Colin Cowherd. Now, what I thought was interesting that he said that I agree with it, it's maybe the most reasonable take that I've heard, as crazy as that sounds, when he talked about Jalen having to get out of his comfort zone and doing things he doesn't do a lot, such as throwing over the middle and so forth. He didn't say that Jalen can't do these things, right? He did, they all talk about how can't do it. Now, I don't necessarily think it's him getting out of his comfort zone. We've talked about this before as well. The whole shotgun thing, 100% Nick Sirianni's offense. Now, does Jalen Hurts have a preference for the shotgun? He may. I don't know that, but I do know from watching film and from listening to Jalen Hurts over the years that he has zero problem being under center, turning his back, doing play action and all of that. So it is absolutely not a comfort level thing. He may have a shotgun preference, I don't know, but he certainly does not have any discomfort or aversion to being under center as he has advocated for it multiple times. Again, I think a lot of the offense was run. Now maybe he doesn't. Again, he might not have a preference for throwing over the middle, but I go to the film. He has thrown over the middle successfully quite a lot. But they do throw over the middle less than other teams, but there are also other teams that don't throw over the middle as well. He's also one of the most effective quarterbacks in the NFL throwing over the middle. And you know what? Sometimes that goes hand in hand. Because they don't do it a lot, when they do it, it is an effective play because the other team doesn't have the preparation and doesn't have the defensive scheme to try and take that away because they feel like they don't have to. And that's part of the reason it becomes effective. It would just be like if it flipped, if all of a sudden, 90% of their stuff's going over the middle, it becomes very difficult to do. But you know what? All of a sudden you throw to the outside and it becomes effective because the defense isn't worried about taking it away. Now, I think we're going to see the more I think about this, like even setting aside the AJ Brown thing, I actually think with the way I'm trying to embrace Sean Mannion coming in and the different offenses he's going to install and how Jalen Hurts seems to be embracing that. And I look at the weapons that the Eagles have. I'm Again, not specific to AJ Brown, but I'm kind of excited to watch this offense evolve, not having that type of player where you feel like you have to put in extra into the game plan to satisfy their ego, which could take away from the rest of the team, right? Like, I think Devontae Smith is a number one wide receiver. I think he's been one. I think he will be one. I don't know that we're going to see, 110 reception, 1,500-yard season from Devontae Smith, not because he's not capable, but because of the way this offense might evolve when we look at these weapons, right? Mekhi Lemon, look, is he going to be a superstar as a rookie? Probably not. Do I think he's going to be a weapon for the Eagles? Yes. Hollywood Brown, same type of thing. If he's going to come in and play as a 3, maybe play some as a 4, I think he can still be very, very effective in that role. I think Dontavian Wicks has a whole lot of talent. I think he was limited in Green Bay more because of what they were doing and the other weapons that they have. And I think he's someone that if you use him a lot, he's going to blossom into a very dangerous wide receiver. Elijah Moore also coming in. Was it Torre coming in? We forget. We look at because of Dallas Goedert and Dallas coming back and taking less money. We forget that we drafted the best tight end in college football, Eli Stowers, who is going to create headaches and nightmare matchups in that offense. And by the way, I just mentioned Dallas Goedert, of course, but those are the new weapons coming in, right? Dallas Goedert, who's returning. Devontae Smith, who's returning. Saquon Barkley, who's returning. And by the way, I think what will make the run game and Saquon Barkley himself even more effective is if, hopefully, fingers crossed, Sean Mannion uses Tank Bigsby even more. And oh, by the way, the other thing I would like to see with that as well is Saquon Barkley and Tank Bigsby a little more involved in the passing offense. The more I think about this offense and the potential that it has, and I think, look, let's be clear, and I don't think it's so much because of a new offensive coordinator that we're worried about the way it was with Kevin Patullo, but just because we have a whole lot of new moving parts and an entirely new system, I do think there will be growing pains and there will be struggles throughout as they get comfortable, but I think this offense is going to get better and better and better as the season goes along. And as we move in toward the end of the season, uh, when you combine it with that defense that we all already know about, I don't think anybody is going to want to see these Philadelphia Eagles in the playoffs. Now, I want to finish up. Also, let me know about all this in the comments below. What you think, what you're excited about, what you're worried about, what you think we can or cannot do. But I want to finish off with this because this came from Mina Keems herself, right? She tweeted out last year on tight window throws, Drake May ranked first in precision pass rate, first in QBR, and first in completions over expected. Over the last 3 years, A.J. Brown ranked first in yards route run, first in catches, first in first downs. Seems good, as in that's a good pairing. But however, what she is also saying for people like Dan Orlovsky and Colin Coward and Nick Wright and Cam the Clown Newton, A.J. Brown was running routes for Jalen Hurts when he accomplished all of those things. I'm just saying the man had a quarterback. You can say what you want about how good A.J. Brown is, but you need a quarterback who can get him the football. And the fact that he's at over 5,000 yards and 32 TDs and 339 catches in 4 years, and he was first in all those things that I just mentioned that Mina pointed out, that says a lot about the quarterback throwing him the football? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Appreciate you checking out this video. We are about, man, I think we're like 130 subscribers from 2,000. So if you have watched some videos, if you're enjoying the content, please do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. I truly do appreciate it. I will talk to you later.